Hello and welcome back to Randomly Generated Conversations. I'm Wesley Sellers and I'm here with my son, Bastian Sellers.
Hello.
Today is Story Edition. We have rolled some random story dice. Bastian is going to have 1 minute to look over the dice and think of a story and then share it with us. The dice include a potion, a treasure chest, a shield, a fountain, some beans, and a person sleeping. Bastian, you have 1 minute to think of something, and we'll come back. All right, so we're back. Bastian has had a minute to think about this. All right, go.
Okay, once upon a time, there was a knight. And this knight, he was looking, and he was on search of a treasure. A treasure like a pirate, almost. So, he looked around. He kept looking and looking and looking. Couldn't find anything. Eventually, he found this fountain. But this was no ordinary fountain. This fountain shot out beans. Lots and lots of beans. Well, this bean fountain, he's like, is this my treasure? No, it must not be. But he kept them in a little bottle, just in case. And inside the bottle, all of a sudden, had some sort of liquid, as if the beans had melted. He's like, that might be useful in the future, so I'm going to keep this on me. He starts walking and walking, and eventually finds this one place. A tavern-looking area. He's like, this is not my treasure either, but I might as well go check out what's in here. It was a basic tavern. It had all your people, had some weird-looking men in different costumes, having staves and stuff like that. He was questioning what was going on there, but he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go and get myself a drink. He goes to the bartender and says, hey, can I get myself a drink? And the bartender's like, you're not part of those weird-looking men in the different costumes, right? He goes, no, I'm not. I'm in search of a treasure. And the bartender says, well, they're in search of a treasure too. So, I'm going to charge you a little extra just because. So, he's like, you know what? I don't need this drink. I'm just going to go search for my treasure. He continued on, feeling a little parched, but he decided, you know what? I'm just going to go search for my treasure. He continues on and eventually finds another castle. So, not his castle, but a different castle. He's like, this is a little weird. This is not my treasure either, I don't think. But I might as well go and see what's in there and check it out. So he walks into there, and the people at the gates were stopping him because he was an outsider. So they asked him a bunch of questions. Who are you? He said, I'm from a castle a little farther away from here, but I'm in search of a treasure. The guards are like, that's odd. A couple weird-looking men just came in and they also said that too. So, but we'll let you in because we let them in. They promised us something, and you better promise us something too. The guy goes, I'll share my treasure with you guys. Just let me go through because this is a really big castle, and it's almost like a wall protecting the other side. So he starts going. He goes through. He sees a bunch of merchants and lots of people selling lots of different goods, and he thinks, you know what? I might as well go and buy a shield. And he didn't want like the normal knight shields that have like the cool designs on them. He wanted a shield with stripes. Red stripes and a white shield. Some people called him Mr. Candy Cane just because of this. Anyway, that was a little off topic. He starts walking with his beautiful shield, and he realizes he doesn't have a sword. So he's like, wait, where did I leave my sword? All of a sudden, he didn't realize that one of the weird-looking men inside the tavern came and stole something from him. So he's like, well, I must have misplaced it somewhere. So he goes to buy a sword. Once he gets a sword, he's like, okay, I'm off. I'm going to go search for my treasure again. He starts and he leaves the castle, and they're like, oh, by the way, just be careful. There's something a little farther away from here, but we don't really know what it is because we're too scared to go check it out. And the man just turns to them and starts laughing. He's like, you guys are knights. What do you mean you're too scared to go check it out? They're like, you'll see soon. We've had a lot of people tell us what was there, and we're not the bravest knights in the castle, if you know what I mean. So the guy, he just goes and he starts walking a little forward, and he sees this really big house. It looks like a normal house, but really big. He's like, maybe my treasure's in there? I don't really know. But maybe I can get a drink in here because I'm really thirsty. So he continues on, and he enters the building. It's just a normal building. It looks like a barn, and he sees a giant horse. He's like, that's a little odd. Horses are not supposed to be 10 feet tall. Anyway, he continues on, searching through this house, saying, is my treasure here, or is it here? Then he finds this chest, and it looks like a treasure chest. He opens it up and finds lots of jewelry. But this jewelry is humongous. He's like, it might take a squad to get, like a squad or a group of people to help me get this treasure out. And right as he said that, some people entered the building, and it was the weird-looking men. They came, and one of them used their staff to help levitate some of that out. Another person was very buff, so he picked it up and helped him take it back to the castle. Like they said, they would drop off one piece of the treasure to the knights at the front of the castle because they promised them something. So eventually they continued on, and they got past the castle, past the tavern, back to the original castle that he came from. And he felt like he was about to die, because he hadn't drank anything in a long time. He's like, why does this feel like it's been days, yet it's only been about 7 minutes? He was over here, and he just thought, you know what, I need to get a drink. But first, I'm going to admire my treasure. He kept looking at his treasure, and it was the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. How it shined in the light and everything. Soon, he started to hear a thump, thump, thump. Something was coming towards him. He didn't know what it was, but he could hear its footsteps from far away. Thump, thump, thump. He's like, maybe it's my stomach. I'm just gonna go grab something to eat. So he grabs something to eat. He's like, that was delicious. He doesn't hear footsteps for a little bit. And all of a sudden, he hears thump, thump, thump. He's like, okay, this is kind of odd. He goes and looks outside, and there stood a giant. This giant got a little mad that he stole the jewelry, and the giant just was trying to find it in the castle, tore apart some buildings to see if they were in there, and the knight was like, oh no, I have to figure this out. So he grabs his candy cane shield, his sword, and starts off to defeat the giant. And then all of a sudden, a big battle happens, which I cannot describe because it's super interesting and very long. And anyway, after that, the knight beat the giant, ends up the hero of the town and the castle area. He thinks, you know what, this might be my treasure, because these jewelry and stuff like that, I could get those are not my treasure. The people cheering my name is the treasure. But I'm really thirsty. I'm just gonna go, and I'm gonna go get myself a drink. He realized that he still had the little bottle of bean juice. He's like, maybe I should drink this. He drank the bottle of bean juice, passed out, and slept for 3 long years. Everybody assumed him dead, till one day. Everybody assumed him dead till one day he shows up again with his candy cane shield and his sword, coming to save them again from some monstrous beast, searching for his treasure and getting bean juice from the bean fountain. And that is the end of this story.
Thank you, Bastian. Very inspiring.
It's beautiful.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of randomly generated stories or randomly generated conversations. Join us on the next episode where I'll be taking on this same challenge. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.